Okay guys, I just wanted to get this filmed today early so I can get it uploaded. That's usually what takes me the most time, is getting it uploaded. But anyway, let's get started. Oh, and you guys are probably also going to hear chickens in the background. That's my husband's chickens. They're right outside. It's morning. That's what they do. Okay. Let's just get started with the types of ink that I use a lot. Chalk ink is good because it's fast drying. It's just immediate, so there's no forgiveness in that. These come in chalk, cat's eye type. They're also called brush pads, and they come in full-size pads. And I usually get these at Hobby Lobby. They run, $2 usually for the smaller ones and $4 or $5 for the big ones, but they're nice. The second kind of ink I want to talk about is pigment ink, and these come in all different types of pads. This is a pedal point pad, and these are really good if you want to get a variety. They come in the primaries and all different metallics and pastels, and how they work is just pull these apart, and it's just individual stamp pads. So these run usually $10 to $12, I think, but it's a good way to get a lot of colors in one pad, and they're pretty easy to store too. And they also come in the brush or the cat's eye type pads. And here's just a fairly cheap Walmart pad that I got. And the Archival Brilliance ink, these are a little nicer. They come with a plastic top, so they aren't as messy. And we'll get in more to these on the next video on embossing, because this is what you use for embossing. The next kind is StazOn ink with solvent ink. I think there's different brands, and this is really good if you are going to stamp on anything like tile or glass. It won't come off after it's dried. So these are really good, but if you make a mistake with these or get it on your hands, you're pretty much stuck with it for a while. At least it's similar to like a Sharpie marker. Here's another dye ink. These are nice, but they're again messy. Of course, ink is messy. It's just the way it is. Here's some Distress inks. I use these for a vintage look on my edges. You can see that the pad is pretty roughed up, but that's just the way I use them. So they're fairly cheap, again, just a few dollars a piece, so they can be replaced. I use brown. There's all different colors. There's also the Tim Holtz Distress inks. I don't have any of those, but they come on a pad smaller than these big pads, but I may try to get one of those soon. And this is my most commonly used ink for me, is a Memento black dye ink. It's quick drying. It doesn't bleed. It doesn't fade out when we color on it. It's just a really good all-purpose ink for black. And they also have colors in this. And the next thing I want to talk about is the way to clean the stamps when you do stamp. I have this bottle of stamp cleaner. I've refilled it probably 100 times at least, but it's just a good size. And right now I have Simple Green cleaner, household cleaner, just watered down really well. And also I like to use baby wipes, just baby wipes. I mean, it's not high tech or anything. You just have to watch if you get lint on your stamps. Make sure you don't get lint off these on there. And if you do, just wipe that off. Okay, and I think that a good set of alphabet for a stamp, this is acrylics, a good alphabet is a good starter point for anybody that's just trying to get started. That's something that you're always going to use, so a good smaller alphabet. And just get what you like. I mean, if you like vintage, then get vintage. If you are more floral person, start out with some good floral sets, and they'll take you a long way. This is a set that I bought. I love this, and I'm bad about keeping packaging, so I don't know what brand this is. I wish I did. This is a set I really love. It's just numbers and vintagey numbers and bold numbers. And here's a floral set. I've taken it apart, so some of my stamps are missing and put in other sets, but this is just a good floral set to have. And here's a good vintage set. It's got the old truck, a bicycle, which is useful for lots of things, clock face, bingo card. I use that bingo card a lot. If any of you guys got it swapped from me, seen that bingo card, and the ticket. So that's a good one to have. I have tons of stamps, but that's just a few the styles that I wanted to show you guys. Oh, here's my little raccoon. He's cute. I use him a lot too. Another kind of stamp, those are all acrylics. Here, another kind of stamp is the, it's a rubber stamp, but it's mountable on the acrylic blocks. I'll show you in a minute. And these are just easier to store. You know, they're good quality. And the more you use a stamp, the better it gets. I mean, it's going to season itself, it's going to stain, and that's fine. The more you use it, the better it's going to get, if it's a good quality stamp. And with those, I used the acrylic blocks. There's 3. I only own 3. That's the 3 I own, right there. And I figured out that's the 3 sizes that work for me. So these can be also gotten at Hobby Lobby or any craft store for varying prices depending on brand. Here's some bigger stamps that I want to show you guys. This is what they call a background stamp. Now these can run $10, $12, but if you get a good clearance or a good sale, that's the way to go. This one I happen to love because it says Yellowstone Park on it. I use this a lot. This is a good open image stamp, and what I mean by open image is that when we stamp that, we can color that in and shade it. Here's another good open image stamp. It's just a real basic little flower. He goes a long way. A brad or a rhinestone or some bling can be put in the middle of that after you stamp it and dress it up. This is one of my favorite stamps. This is my balloon stamp. Here in Arkansas we have a hot air balloon festival that I love to go to, and I use this little guy a lot. I love doing hot air balloon cards also. And here's a solid image stamp, and I'll show you guys in a little while how we're going to use that in different colors, the way that it shows it on here somewhat to make a card. And here's another good open image stamp, and I want to show you guys how stained these are. I'm not perfect at keeping my stamps completely clean, and when you use that StazOn anything, it's going to stain. So just don't stress about it. And I got this Friday. I absolutely love this notebook paper. I've stamped it. Here's one of the stamped images of it. It can be done in any color. You know, that's the great thing about these stamps, is they can be done in any color, used an endless amount of times. I mean, I like stickers. You buy stickers and they're gone when you use them. You buy a stamp, you're always going to have it. So you can tell it already looks a little rough, and I've used it. So I think I'm going to enjoy that one. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the kind of markers I use. I'm not into Copic markers as much. I do have a few, but I'm just not into them. This is some of my marker collection. A lot of these are from Dollar Tree. This is some that are out the latest. There's some brush markers, but I really like them. Brush markers just from Dollar Tree. And if they run out, they're, you know, $1. So get some more. These right here were also from Dollar Tree. This was just a set of, I don't know, probably 12. And that's just the ones I have out right now because it's my commonly used colors. And from Dollar Tree again, you know. This is a couple of pins from my Stapler set. I've had these for a long time from Hobby Lobby. They were expensive. I got them with a 40% off coupon, but they have been worth the investment because they have lasted me probably about 7 years, and they're still going strong. And again, these EK Success, this is just a few of the colors from my set. These were an investment too, but I'm figuring out when you invest a bit in the better quality, they will last you longer and have a better pigment quality. I just got a couple little pens. These were Jot pens from Dollar Tree again. When they run out, they run out. So let's take them off. And I do like the Crayola. These are the Super Tips from Crayola. Came in a big set from Walmart. Probably $7 or $8, but I do like them. There's the tip. And they came in probably a set of 50, maybe $10, $12. I really do like those. And then also, I use colored pencils. Right now, I have a set of Prism watercolor pencils. Now, I don't use them as watercolor. I just use them as colored pencils, but I have that option to use them as watercolor. Again, I've had these for several years, and slide over. But I mean, you can see my commonly used colors are going to be shorter. I have a couple Crayola extras here, and these can be replaced by color if you run out of one. They're nice. Prismacolor is good, so that's just something that you can invest in if you want to get into stamping. And you know, got them at Hobby Lobby. It says $34.99. You know, get them 40% off or 50% off when they have their pens and pencils, artist pens and pencils. And these are not in the scrapbooking or stamping section. These are in the artist section on the other side of my store by the drawing pads and the professional artist type things. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is what they call fussy cutting. I just call it detail cutting. And that's when I go around something that's like this. This is that I talked about, my hot air balloon stamp. And, you know, after I stamp it, I just go around it. It makes it more like a sticker. Haven't colored that one in yet. And, you know, your more detailed image is just going to make a difference on it. Now, this is just cut around it, just quickly. This is one of my stamps from Stampin' Up. Let's talk about that real quick. Another place I talk about buying things at Hobby Lobby and Michael's and things like that. There are several companies that are Stampin' Up and close to my heart, and they're representative based, like your Avon or your Mary Kay or things like that. And I once sold for close to my heart for probably about a year, and I used them, and I used my rep status mainly as a discount for getting my own stamps. But I just didn't like feeling like I was pressured to make people buy my own stamp, my only stamps, and not go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's, because obviously I was going there too. And I don't want people to think that that's the only stamps you have to buy and that they are the best. So I'm not to knock Stampin' Up or close to my heart. I love them. I buy them on eBay, but I'm just not about telling people that that's the best in the world, because there's just tons of stuff out there. So anyway, let's just get started with, and I already use a lot of scrap paper, so let's just use my notes that I had made for this video. On my shading, I haven't practiced this, so I guess if I'm going to mess up. I'll go with the darker and pull in. Darker and pull in from the edges, and don't be perfect, because stamping's not perfect, nor is coloring perfect. And flowers aren't perfect. I mean, if you look at a flower in nature, it's not always perfect. So, and if you get these before they dry well, you're thinking I'm not being I can't color well, but that's just the way I'm going to start. And then I'm going to pull that in with a lighter. I'm just going to go back over it. I'm going to pull it in with a lighter. I'm not going to worry about that middle, because I'm probably going to be putting a brad or something on that. So, you know, it's old school coloring. Let me just go back to coloring. And that may not look the best right now, but by the time that it fades into each other, I let them set for a few hours, and when they fade, the colors fade into each other, they'll be better. So that, you know, I could go in the middle with that green. Let's find a green. Let's see, a green. Let's just do a green in the middle. This is those brush markers from Dollar Tree. Now that's really dark, but let's go with that. So, you know, and that'll look different at the end of the day because those colors are gonna mingle together and mash together and dry. And this is my little truck. I've used him in every shape, form. Everybody that ever gets cards from me gets sick of looking at that little truck. But I've called him an open image where he's easy to color. You know, let's do this butterfly with the colored pencils. Let's make him purple and green. I don't know if dragonflies are purple and green or not, but let's see. You know, I'm not, like I said, I don't color perfectly, but I'm just going to go on with green, kind of sloppy, you know, not full coverage, not hard coverage, just, and you notice how I lay my pen to the side, my pencil to the side. That's just me sometimes. Got it lightly done. Should have done this on bigger paper for you guys. Then I'm just going to go around the edge and pull in with the accent color. And I could go back over this with watercolor and it would blend really nice. I may do a watercolor tutorial too. I just need to remind myself how to do it properly before I start showing you guys. But, you know, that's just the way I do it. I don't know. I mean, so let me show you, back up a minute and show you the basics about stamping and positioning. Like I said, stamping is not perfect. It's not a perfect science. You know, I still stamp bad images and have to start over, but let's just start with that Memento black ink again. It's, you know, fast drying. I'm going to do that dragonfly that I just did. You know, ink up your stamp real good. Just, you know, blot it on. Some people rock theirs, and that can work if you don't have the sharp edges on the rubber. If you have an edge that is sticking up, just take your scissors and cut that off, because it's going to catch ink every time, and it's just going to give you fits. So ink it up, position. That's one thing about these wood mount, is they don't position as well, but if you can see your rubber underneath it, you know, and like I said, you're not going to get a perfect image every time, but that's just stamping, and nature's not perfect, so that's fine. There's that dragonfly. Let's do an acrylic on a small piece. Let's go for this flower. I'm just going to peel them off of the backing that they come on, and they're clingy. They stick right on. If the cling comes off, then you can just wash them in your sink and they'll air dry and they will be sticky again. It's just magic. I don't even know how it works, but it's like a static cling. Okay. If your stamp's too big, just move it around. And these are awesome to position because you see right where you're going. So just give it a good press and off. And that's the stamped image off of that. And that's a good one to color also, I think. Let's give that a try. Let's go with markers this time. Again, those Staedtler markers, they're a little fine point for something like this. So let's just go with this. You know, and you don't have to do all the way to the edge. Just pull, go from the middle and pull out. I don't know if I'm explaining that well. There's lots of tutorials on here on YouTube about how to color in images, and I'm not a professional by any means, but this is the way I do it. Now, if you had another tone of yellow, then you could certainly come out with that. Just go back over that where you're getting the yellow and the green, so you're blending the colors in. I'm not gonna finish that, but you see the one petal on there. Another thing is, This one, you can paper piece this. I'll be doing a paper piecing video probably later today or tomorrow. And when you have multi-layer images like this, we can talk about how to do that. I do want to show you this one real quick. I would stamp this one several times, get the candles in one color, the middle in another color, and this in another color. Not just colors, but you could stamp this and then cut it out in pattern paper. That would work. Let's just show you what it looks like in black. Get a better idea. This is a Studio G. It's got the patterns already on it. It's the Studio G. It comes from Walmart. And another place to look for stamps is our Walmart has a small $1 section, $2 section in the craft department with stamps. Our Dollar Tree even has stamps. Sometimes this one probably came from Dollar Tree. It doesn't have a brand on it, so I assume that's where it came from. In fact, I know that's where that one came from. I hope this was helpful to get everybody started. The next videos that I'm going to do are talk about embossing. If you have an embossing gun, that will be helpful if you want to try to get started on embossing, and some embossing powder, some basic pigment inks. The powders, if you get a good ink, good colors of ink, get the clear powder, because your ink color is what's going to show through. They do have tinted ink pads that then your pigment powder is going to be your color. So that goes both ways. We'll get into more of that later. I'm also going to be doing a paper piecing video either tonight or tomorrow, talking about using coloring books. Whenever you find coloring books anywhere that have interesting big open area shapes, you grab those. You know, they're $1 here and there, $2 maybe, but those can be invaluable for paper piecing. So just pick those up whenever you see a good one that you think you're going to use. I want to show you guys this real quick. I found this in my father-in-law's truck. This is an M&M wrapper off those little mini M&M packages, and I sat and cut that last night. I'm going to use that on a pocket letter or something. I don't know. I think it's cute. I mean, that just goes to show that you can use anything. I'm going to cut the back off of it, but just love the M&M people. And so anyway, I'm going to get this uploaded for you guys today, since I said we were going to be having class on Monday. And I hope I at least showed you the very basics of what I do in stamping. We'll get into more of that this week. I'll try to do a video almost every day if possible. So, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.